Hey everyone, I recently got a comment asking like, hey Ken, how do you usually approach coding problem during technical interviews? So in this video, I'd like to walk you through my actual thought process using classic two-sum problem as an example. So let's get started. Okay, let's talk about how I approach coding problem during the technical interviews. So first step is the most important point I really want to say to everyone. So step one, don't start coding right away. So I never jump into coding immediately after hearing the problem. Instead, I always start by asking clarifying questions. Because most real interviews do not give you nicely worded problems, they often leave out important details on purpose to see how you handle ambiguity. So for example, they don't say exact one solution, or they don't say you may not use same element twice, or you can return answers in any order, something like that. So how do you find out these constraints? It's simple, just asking before coding. If I solve two-sum question in real interview, these are questions I really want to ask. So first question is, can I assume that exact one solution always exists? And the description said exactly one solution. And can the array contain duplicate values? And the description said you may not use the same element twice. And do you want me to return in the indices or values themselves? And the description said return indices of two numbers. And other question is the order of answer pair important? So you can return the answer in any order, description said. And what's the maximum possible size of array? If upper limit is small, I might go with brute force instead of using HashMap. And is the focus more on time efficiency or memory usage? If the answer is time, I will propose HashMap solution. So it's your job to ask the right question to fill in the gaps. Okay, step 2, start with a simple brute force explanation. Once I've cleared up the ambiguity, I typically start by explaining a brute force approach very briefly. For two-sum, I might say the simplest solution is to check all possible pairs using a nested loop. If any pair sums to the target, we return their indices. Since we check every pair, this guarantees we'll find the answer if it exists. Then I'd quickly point out the pros and cons of this approach. At this point, I'd briefly discuss when brute force might be a reasonable choice and what its limitations are, like this. If the array size is very small and we need to be mindful of memory usage, brute force could be a valid option. It's used on O1 extra space. However, in most real-world cases, the array can be quite large. In that case, brute force might not finish in time because of its O(n) square time complexity. To improve performance, we can trade space for time by using HashMap and bring the time complexity down to order of n. In this approach, we store each value and its index in HashMap as we iterate. For each number, we check if target minus current number already exists in the map. If it does, we find our answer in constant time, something like that. And after briefly discussing the trade-off between different approaches, we move on to the actual coding part. Okay, so let me explain with this example 2, 11, 15, 7, and the target is 9. So description said each input would have exactly one solution. So that means if we check all possible pairs, so we will get the answer, right? So in this case, we have 4 numbers. So each number has 4 pairs, including current number itself. So if current number is 2, so pair should be 2, 2, 2, 11, 2, 15, 2, 7. So in that case, we have 4 numbers and each number has 4 pairs. So 4 multiply 4 and we have 16 pairs, right? So current input is very short, but what if we have 100 numbers? So in that case, 100 multiply 100. So that means we have 10,000 pairs, right? So this time complexity should be order of n squared. That is time consuming. So can we improve this time complexity to like a order of n linear time? Actually, we can do that with HashMap. So let me show you how. Okay, so the formula to find the pair number is very simple. Just target minus current number. So target is fixed number. So in this case, 9, right? So 9. And then let's iterate through all numbers one by one. So first of all, we find 2. So that's why current number is 2. So 9 minus 2 equal 7, right? So if we have 7, so we will return index pair, right? And then check HashMap. So PI stands for pair index, but there is no data right now. So that's why we just store current data we found. So we found 2, right? And 2 is index 0. So key should be current number 2, and the value is index number, in this case 0, right? And then move next. So we find 11. So 9 minus 11 should be minus 2, right? So if we have minus 2, so we can create a 9, right? 11 minus 2. So in that case, we can return index pair. So that's why check HashMap, but there is no minus 2, right? So in that case, we keep current data. So in that case, 11. So key should be 11, and the index number is 1, right? So 1. And then move next. So current number is 15, and the target number is 9. So 9 minus 15 is minus 6, right? So check if we have minus 6 in HashMap, but there is no minus 6. So in that case, we just keep current data. So 15, and the index number is 2, right? 0, 1, 2. And then move next. So we find 7. So 9 minus 7 should be 2, right? So check if we have 2 in HashMap. So we have 2, right? So, and then index 0. So that's why we can create a target number 7 and 2. So that's why in this case, we should return current index and index 0 in this case. So description said we can return the answer in any order. So we can return like 0 and 3 or 3 and 0. Yeah, so that is the basic idea to solve this question. So with that being said, let's get into the code. Okay, let's write the code. One key point about how I code in real interview is that I don't just write silently. I explain my thought process as I go. By solving the problem and explaining my thought at the same time, I can save time and keep the interview interactive. So for example, so first of all, I create a hash map. So let's say bar index. So this is hash map, and we keep value as a key, and value should be index, something like that. And then let's iterate through one by one. For index and value, let's say num, enumerate and nums, and let's calculate the number we need as a pair. So if target minus num in bar index, so that means we found pairs. So return, and we can return in any order, right? So that's why I put current index first, and then another index coming from bar index. So bar index and the target minus num. If not the case, bar index. So add current number and index to HashMap. Yeah, I think it will work. Yeah, looks good. And the time complexity of this solution should be order of n, where n is the number of elements in the input array. And the space complexity is also order of n because we use HashMap here. And after coding, interviewer may ask you like, can you please debug your code? Something like that. But it depends on technical interviews. Yeah, I hope this video helps you understand what I'm doing in the real interview. This is a summary of what I'm doing in real interview. Step 1, asking clarifying questions. Step 2, start with a simple brute force explanation. Step 3, discuss trade-offs and optimization strategy. Step 4, coding while explaining your thought process. Yeah, so that's all I have for you today. Please support me with actions such as comment and hitting like button. I'll see you in the next question.